Greetings, Uncomfortable Truth Podcast. Here today with Reg, Kiema, myself, Horace. Got Rashad in the background. Today we're going to talk about dating and the dangers of it. Reg, I think you should kick it off.
Yeah, you.
Well, this I say 2 weeks ago. Right now, I think as we recording this in Atlanta, we have one of the famous rappers from Atlanta. He died. Going to go visit a friend of his. The young lady had an ex-boyfriend who lived there a week before that, and he returned, and allegedly, because he's not been convicted yet, had a broken entry. A domestic violence situation occurred, and in the midst of the domestic violence situation, the gun was pulled, Trouble was murdered, and the young man fled. Of course, he was arrested 3 days after that. My whole question is it worth dying? Is dating out here with somebody you don't really know, going to the house, staying overnight, are all these things worth dying over? At least get started anyway. Because that's like the fresh thing in the news on the streets. Like, dangerous dating, is it worth going over somebody's house and spending the night just to say, just for fun, only to find out they got a crazy boyfriend, crazy girlfriend? Like, all these situations, at-risk situations, even worth it just to hook up?
Well, at the end of the day, it's never really worth your life, but you never really know that in the moment, We all been there, it's late night, you drinking, you meet somebody, or you get a phone call, and you make some bad decisions. You
I ain't been there.
Bad in the moment. You said what?
I ain't been there.
Never in your life.
No.
As
After you had a break.
I'm about to say as men.
As men, we've all been there, Especially somebody like Trouble, and I have no idea what that life is like. He's a rapper, he's popular. Yeah. Women always at him, I'm sure the girl was probably fine as they come. So, you drinking, smoking. I don't know what he do in his free time. High, I'm sure, on some level. Yeah, shit, it's time. At the end of the day, that's what we want, well. Yeah. Drinking, I got me some money, it's time to get some ass. And you know what?
Did you say that in the album? He's like, creeping up, fucking, in other niggas' cribs. Like,
yeah. It's one of them things, man. And I don't know what their history was, if they knew each other before, or they just met. But I remember one time I was kind of pinned down on some crazy boyfriend stuff, but I knew her, so I didn't think this could happen. But when I thought back, I hadn't seen her in a while, and I should have known that she had been dealing with somebody
in between,
and shouldn't have went over there. And it wasn't even late night.
Yeah.
We haven't done nothing yet. I went over there, went to the store, got some drink, came back. He come over there kicking in the door.
Dang.
But I was able to, get out of it. I had my own protection with me, but it was a scary moment. Because, you don't want to get killed. You don't really want to kill nobody. Yeah. And really, I shouldn't even been over there because I had my own situation. Now I'm explain this. It's all bad.
Yeah.
It's bad on so many levels, so. But yeah, I hate that, really, we could tie this into the gun violence in general. It's all bad, but we're gonna stick to the dating. Dating is dangerous.
But it's bold to invite that person over, because I'd have been in a situation where I was at work and I was in a long-term relationship, and my girlfriend lived down the street. I leave work, I go over there, cause I called her a couple times. So I go there on my lunch break. She sat on the porch there with a nigga. They say me, and they run into the house and lock the door. And I look like the crazy nigga because I'm not gonna do it. Like, why the fuck y'all run? If it's so much almost nothing,
yeah.
Why the fuck y'all run? Why the fuck did y'all run in the house?
Yeah.
So I like go back to work. I get on the phone, goes, oh, don't come back over here, you crazy, blah blah blah. I'm thinking about mine, but their first reaction when they saw me was
to run
in the house. Not that I had a gun or anything like that, but it was obviously y'all was up to something. So it was like Yeah. So, but I also been the opposite in there with that same girl where years later we had broken up, tried to get back together. I'm supposed to go over there at 9:30. Call. I didn't hear from her. So I should go over there anyway. I go knock on her apartment door. I do zoom by in the 635 drop time BMW and throw her phone at me like, oh, nigga, fuck it, you can have her.
Dang.
And then drive off. Then she pull up Tell me like some nigga stole my phone. Some nigga stole my phone. I said, yeah, here I get a phone like here. Some nigga in a drop top BMW just threw your phone at me from the parking lot. And then she goes, you should have banged that nigga in the face. She was mad at me like you should have smacked that nigga in the face like as if I was trying to get gangster something in my mind. Like I didn't even have time to get gangster to say anything to nigga. This nigga like really had like an emotional moment, like literally threw her like he been like reading my text or her phone for at least the last hour or two. So it's like damn, like niggas that crazy. But I was with her like 5 years. I mean, he only could have been dealing with it for that last year, but either way, it's like, how could you feel that deeply about my ex-girlfriend who's only allegedly been single for a year, and I dealt with her from like 19 to like 26, and you feel that enraged to her ex-boyfriend and you throw her phone at me?
Vagina has power.
I'm about to say, people get dick dust too, though. Because females be acting an ass sometimes, man. I done seen
It's
it.
something about good sex, man. We just really, like, I know I need to stop messing with this person, but...
Right. I kept going back.
I can't.
I'm the one that's going back.
It's like a crackhead, like, I know I shouldn't be doing this. And they'll tell their kids, don't ever do drugs. Then they will do drugs.
It's
It's just what it is, man. I find a lot of times women don't care, and they're more likely to live life on the edge when it comes to that. For some reason, I don't know what it is.
It might be the alpha. We want to just kind of see.
Maybe that.
But coming to you or coming to me, like, is it more dangerous?
I think
having somebody come to your spot, or you want to go see where that man live at? Like, what's more dangerous?
I had a friend of mine that he was seeing a woman. She was married. He knew she was married. He was a firefighter, so he worked like 2 on 3 or whatever their schedule is. He would park at the grocery store. She would pick him up, pull into the garage so the neighbors wouldn't see him, and spend the night with her. Now she had kids, 2 kids in the house, but she was also seeing another guy. One night, I guess he was also on the same routine at some point. He came over to see her because she knew she had another guy in there. So he comes, knocks on the door. She goes down there, said, let me go ahead and talk to him for a minute and calm him down. Dude was drunk. Now my boy up in the bedroom. Her kids in the bedroom sleep. They start tussling outside in the bushes. My boy's still in the house. He said, I can't go out and help her because he married too.
Oh, my goodness.
It's all bad.
Oh, my
you
goodness.
In her house, she got a husband, you got a wife. They out there tussling. Neighbors called the police.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't remember he had got out of it. I think he snuck out the back door and walked his car, something crazy like that. But the audacity of anybody to bring a person into your home and you live with somebody is madness.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
It's madness.
I feel like as the person who's coming in and the person who brings the person in, you asking to die.
Yeah, you asking to die.
You asking to die. We prior to coming here, I was talking to my husband and we kind of going through that, and he was like, "What if I said you want to die?"
Yeah, it's certain.
There's no what if. Like you want to die. Like if there's certain level of disrespect where you just want to die.
But how long you got to be broken up before I can have company? At what point am I allowed to move on once the breakup is allowed? Why can I? Some people don't have no breakup period. They immediately start dating. Some people say, I'm going to give it a week or two. Some people say, well, let me get myself together for a year before I even have anybody in my space. So when is it the period of this is okay to start having people around in my space, know my family, so this won't set off the crazy person?
Look, I don't know. Some people do have a grace period, like, oh, you moved on too soon. But if y'all say we're not together, you're not together.
Yeah,
that does not belong to you anymore. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's y'all house together and y'all still trying to figure out the finances, it's probably best you don't bring nobody to that house. Because if they paying bills in the house, go do that somewhere else. But outside of that,
but can you not expect drama on, like for him, like on a Saturday night, we've been broken up 1 week ago. I mean, for that dude not to come back. But I mean, it's only been 1 week.
It's probably not a good idea to have somebody in the house.
I would say bring somebody in the house if you guys were living together. Yeah. There should be a time period. But as far as you moving on, you really know the person you was dealing with. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know who you're dealing with. You know if you're dealing with somebody who's crazy. They showed you crazy before y'all broke up. Like if my husband who passed away, there was no way a year after we broke up was I gonna really just have anybody around, even our kids, because he's crazy.
Yeah, my ex-wife was saying,
I would have to move out of the house that we were living in, even if he was no longer paying bills and everything. Move out of the house for him not to know where I'm living at. to then maybe bring somebody over.
Yeah. It wasn't even so much
is.
that I was crazy. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I definitely wouldn't. I'm paying the bills at the house. I said, I don't care what you do. Don't do it in this house.
In this house.
And certainly don't move nobody in here.
Yeah.
I'm not paying no bills on somebody living here. Now, you could do whatever you want to do outside of that. I'm not checking on you regular, none of that. I said I had a key to the house. It's not a good idea for you to bring somebody in this house. Well, I pay the bill.
I just think
that's a problem.
You know, you got a history of domestic violence with that person, and I know you want to date out there, but maybe you shouldn't be dating. Maybe you need to get that cleared up with the law, because I know at least 2 situations I can think of in maybe the last few years where somebody have died. I think one situation I saw online where some guy was venting online talking about like my ex-wife got me for child support and I can't take this anymore. And he knocked on I don't know if y'all saw, but he knocked on the door and the lady ran and he was like acting like he was going, I don't know if that was real or fake, but it was like it was a whole scenario of I'm going to get you back for get me for child support. And then there's a scenario here where in Georgia where I think it was meant to have been a district attorney or something where she was sitting in front of her house. And I think her new boyfriend and her were just sitting in the car. Her ex-boyfriend came up and shot both of them. The new dude died, but she's like paralyzed or something like that. That was like maybe the last 5 years. I don't know if you remember that.
Dealing with.
But I know, but
so if it's a normal breakup, somebody you've been dating for a year or so, that y'all just know y'all don't want to be together no more, why would you have to wait? But if it's somebody who you know acted crazy during y'all relationship, then you know not to do certain things and move a certain way. So it just depends on who the person is.
That girl somebody think like that nigga ain't gonna do nothing. He like, I'm gonna show him gonna do something. Like he almost like he got a point to prove. Like, I don't know. You better call the police something.
Rashad, that was that you told me one time. I said, what's the only thing stronger than a mother's love?
A man's pride.
Man's pride.
A man's pride.
Yeah, man. When our pride and our egos get in the way, what he said, that's why most of us in prison. Pride and ego. And
not that we could take the whole show up on that, but they said this whole incident happened in 7 minutes.
The trouble, John?
Yeah. That's how enraged that brother allegedly was. That means 1 minute you go through the security gate to get out your car, jump out your car, go in there and have a domestic violence fight. And he wake up, you shoot him, you're able to get back in your car and leave. All that happened in 7 minutes. That's how already maybe his mind made up or how the scenario was going to go. But that is just so dangerous that in 7 minutes, somebody's life is gone. Everybody's life is altered over hurt feelings, ego, broken heart.
I'm about to say that was before 7 minutes. That was some probably an argument before between her and him. Mm-hmm. She already knew who he was. I mean, if y'all already going through a breakup and everything else, to my understanding, there was like messages on social media where she was talking about putting his stuff out. Mm-hmm. There was other stuff happening prior to, so he knew what was going on over there. And that's how he quickly was just kind of able to kind of go in and out. I mean, when you go into a fight, you go straight in. Mm. So you go straight in, you go handle it, you get out.
Shit, you kick the door.
Yeah.
So is it okay? I guess we can maybe shift gears and ask Rashad leading to this. So, is it hard to accept defeat? Is it hard to accept heartbreak and break up? Like this is over. Like is that hard for anybody here? Like to say, "Damn, this shit is over with."
I think sometimes it can be. You know, you really love a person. It's gonna be a little difficult. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna sting.
I'm not point to prove, so I don't. Like nah. Like my logic is like if you feel like it's somebody better than me out there, like then I want you to go find them. Like you know, I want that for you, and you know I'm not trying to stand in nobody's way, cause I feel like everybody should do what's best for them.
Better than me?
Yeah. Not cause I think I'm the you know.
My ex told me my cutoff game was real good. So it don't really matter how I feel. Kinda. I'm.
Yeah, I ain't gonna let you know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you know. I'm done.
I think I'm kind of like that too. You know. But now, when I was with my ex-wife, like, yeah, it hurt a little bit. Even right now, me and my lady, we broke up, and, you know, it sting. You know, hurt. But, you know, I did some things that led up to that, and I accept it for what it is. You know, she I don't know where we at. You know, she act like she still want to work it out, but sometimes you got to accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you make these mistakes, and it's a problem.
Like when you know, like when it's time to move, because like I know a lot of times people stay in relationships that just it's like for comfortability, familiarity, or whatever the case may be. It's like this is what I know, but you know it's like it's not really what I want to be doing, but I'm doing it. Like at what point do you know like when it's time to just leave?
I had to tell my niece yesterday because she was talking about a friend of hers who needs to leave a dude, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, we often you can't tell a person when it's time to move on. Everybody's going to be different, and they're going to be different with even different people. Some people, they're going to be quick to move on because they tired, they done been through this already. Then other people, it's going to take them a little bit longer. But I think everybody's just different. When there's some people, they're going to take a little bit more because their finance, sex, situation. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they can't move out because they can't find a place. Maybe they're staying because they got kids. Maybe, you know, it's just different things. And then other things, it's like, I can leave because there's no reason to stay.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to bounce.
Yeah, I think depending on your financial position, definitely it's a lot easier to leave. If you got other options or what you perceive as better options, it's easier to leave. And I kind of go through, I think what where we kind of started, it's like, do you stay in your situation because you're afraid of what's out there? Because dating can be dangerous on a lot of levels, you know, STDs and violence and, you know, all that old stuff. So, you know, I think sometimes we may settle for the person we're with, even though we're not necessarily happy, but we don't want the risk of being alone, even more unhappy or alone.
Yeah.
You know, so we stay in the situation that we in. But I think that's more of a probably old school mentality, because younger folks, they don't care. They'll quit their person. They'll quit a job.
They quit a job and a hobby.
Millennials don't. They don't care. They don't play the radio.
There's too many apps.
Yeah.
There's too many apps. There's too many DMs.
Yeah. They out.
Yeah.
It don't matter what it is. They out.
Yeah. It's too easy to just like.
Yeah.
While you're in a relationship, there's people in your DM.
Yeah.
So it's, you know what I'm saying? Your person makes you upset. And then all you have to do is you posted a picture yesterday and it has 400 likes and five dudes done pulled them your DM and told you, hey, beautiful. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? Or hey, sexy, or whatever else. It's that simple to then be like, bump this and think there's something else out there that's easier to deal with, that might be better. You know, then you start looking at that person's social media and you see they done took 5 trips and he's posting a Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? And the assumption is it'll be easier over here, or how he's talking to this person or whatever else. And you just end up with the same bullshit.
Same bullshit. Same bullshit.
It's not worse.
These thirst traps, you got these girls on there, they like got their butt in the air and talking about, ain't nobody over here, and they're in the king size bed. Like, which man would treat me right and take me somewhere? Like this gotta be fancy. Like, ain't no way a girl this beautiful and nobody's over there. Somebody over there gonna kick in that door at 3:00 in the morning to kill you over her.
It's killing me. To nobody want me. Nobody want to marry me.
All right.
There's somebody that want to marry you, but you don't want to marry them.
Yeah.
And the person that you want to marry not gonna marry you.
Yeah.
But there's always somebody who wants to marry. There's plenty of good guys that want to get married, but you want to marry them because I had one female friend of mine, and I've been knowing her for years. She was like, "Yeah, nobody want to marry me." I said, "Man, stop it! Like, you've told me about guys that want to marry you, but you don't like how he cut his hair and how he dressed and how he talk. But he a good dude. And you already sleeping with him. But you won't marry him. He want to take care of you and your kids, but you won't marry him because he a lame. He a nice guy." You say you want a nice guy right there. But nah.
They don't want a nice guy.
And that guy ain't gonna marry you. And if he does, he gonna drag you.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
You gonna be having to say cliches like a man gonna be a man. But men is the type of dude that particular person wanted. And like that's why I said earlier about going out here dating. You wanna find somebody good, but they seem like the people who think will want somebody solid or conservative. No, that's not what they want. They want somebody exciting too, who presses that button too, who keep an air of mystery going too. So I guess no matter who you are, you got to keep some shit going to have somebody interested in you.
I was watching this other dude, and he was sitting there kind of talking about that, how men kind of push females to trying to change how they move a little bit, and how some women who were more conservative now feel the need to not be as conservative because they don't get as much attention. And even though a man supposedly wants to marry that type, he's not really paying no attention to want to marry her. He's paying attention to all the women that are out there, the women that are showing, and that's the one he wants on his arm, and that's exciting him. And he's not. So now it's like they start putting themselves out there a little bit more and acting a different way, just because they're, to get attention, to be with somebody. So then I think what he was saying was that it's making women unmarriable.
Yeah, that's a whole nother subject. Women not wanting to be married, being unmarriable, and men not wanting to get married and being unmarriable.
Yeah.
It's the divide is real. We talking about that at the barbershop the other day. We put all these pressures and expectations on our women, but do you even really want to truly be married, man? Do you want to be married? Like, keep it 100 with yourself. Yeah. Some guys are honest. One of my clients said, I ain't trying to be married. I was married. This happened, that happened. I'm not doing it again. He said he was dating this one young lady, and she was like, well, you was married before. Don't you think it's time to get married again? He was like, no. She said, well, I ain't dating just to be dating. He said, well, I guess I'll see you when I see you. He not getting married, Yeah.
I think most men want to be married.
Attractive as it used to be.
I think most men want to be married without the consequences of having another potential mate to join them. Like, almost, I think maybe I wouldn't call it African or whatever culture you want to call it. I just think they would be open to being married without the pressure of feeling like, if I meet someone else to join us, it's not gonna be.
You talking about poly?
Yeah, I think they want the option of maybe having poly, but they don't know how to maybe what they would call that for them, because they don't know those terms. They don't know how to share that with that person. Some people have it. Some people have that understanding because they that type of. They might have been raised in a situation like where their father might have had that. They might have seen it through religious things, or they just might have been that guy who knew how to articulate that. But a lot of people don't know how to say that. I love you. I want you to be my wife, but I still have needs and wants, and I still have a thirst when I see somebody else. That don't mean I don't love you to death. It just means that what I see from her is maybe just a Saturday night, maybe just friend for lunch, and they don't know how to express that to that person.
On the women's end, there's basically 3 types of women. 1, hell no, I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. 2 is, I know a man's gonna be a man, but I better not find out. Mm-hmm. And the 3rd one is, a man's gonna be a man, we're just gonna be open about it. Mm-hmm. Is the main 3 categories. Mm-hmm. And it's just finding out who your person is to see if she's at that point where it's like, I know what he gonna do, and as long as I don't find out about it and he keep that over there, and his home is taken care of, it is what it is. Then, like I said, there's the ones that's like, hell no, absolutely not. I will cut you. Mm. And then there's ones who's just like, as long as the house is taken care of and he's open and honest with me, I'm good with it. I done been through so much stuff before, and they tired of being lied to. Yeah,
right. You would rather have honesty about how you really feel where we at than somebody really just playing real games with your feelings and emotions and truth. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think some women probably get to that point where it's like, look, it seems like every man I deal with cheats, so I might as well find me a person that checks all these boxes, and as long as I don't find out about it, I'm okay with it. I think a lot of women get to that point. Because we all want to be with somebody. We all want companionship. So at some point, you gotta decide what you want that to look like. Yeah. And I was telling one of my nieces that she was dating this guy. It's crazy. My nieces, some of my nieces, they way too honest with me. But she was dating this guy. Everything is perfect. Oh, he's so nice. He good looking. He good with my kids. Blah blah. He said, but his penis small, uncle. I'm just like, I said, come on, baby. I said, I'm your uncle, man.
I don't know about this.
You the cool uncle. I could talk to you like this. I need some advice. I said, baby, you got to be honest about where you are in life. Mm-hmm. I said, you're two kids in. You say he's good with your kids. Mm-hmm. Your decision making now has to be different than what it was prior to children. Mm-hmm. You're 2 kids in. You say he's good. I said, no, I'm not telling you should just put up with anything. I said, all I'm saying is be honest with yourself about where you are in life, what you want, and how you want to get there. Mm-hmm. And if this is something that you think, okay, this is not that bad, and we can talk about this and deal with that, y'all might have to weigh some other options. And I'm not about to go into detail about those options.
Rose.
But whatever.
The road.
Right.
But you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But figure it out.
But can I ask you a question? Well, man, I need to ask you a question as a woman. Is sex still the king? Is that still the number one box of the number one compatibility to relationship? If you do not meet this number one criteria, ain't nothing else.
I think for the younger generation, sex is king. And I'm going to tell you why. And this is something that a lot of men have a hard time with. Women, today's women, men, and I know y'all gonna hate this, they do not necessarily need us.
They don't need it. Financially, nope.
They don't.
Mentally,
they work.
Emotionally, no.
They oh well, what about when the car break? She takes it to a mechanic. Mm-hmm. Well, she needs something painted. She can paint it herself. I said, my ex-wife used to paint. She can hire somebody to paint it. What if they don't need us like our mothers and grandmothers needed their men? Because those men took care of everything, and those women in most cases did not work. My mother did work, but she was also still of the mentality, because she was only one generation removed from those women, that you're supposed to have a man. These women do not care, gentlemen. If she works and she cooks and cleans and you're not making her orgasm, she is going to leave you. You're asking her to do too much and you're not satisfying her sexually. She's going to get tired of it, and she is going to leave.
Or she gonna cheat.
Or she gonna cheat.
Yeah, one or two.
One of the two. And that is the reality of the world we live in now versus 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Yo, Kevin Samuels said it's not
what it is.
Kevin Samuels said it's not our job to make sure they orgasm.
I don't know about that, Kevin.
I disagree with that.
I disagree hardly with that.
Totally disagree with that. I mean, I totally disagree with that.
That should be
you there for?
right.
He made, God bless his dead, but I mean,
he went right about everything.
He made some good points and some things, but I totally disagree with that.
And what you there for?
What's the point of her being with me if she works, got her own money, all this, and I can't make her orgasm? I don't even want to be here. I can't make her orgasm.
I only want to be over
What
there.
is that?
That's worse than slavery.
That's what it's talking about.
It is.
It's like, why am I opening
That's
up
no
my legs?
respect.
There's no reason to open up my
saying.
legs.
Like,
What are we doing?
You can't eat the box or nothing. Like, what are you talking about? These women not doing that with you, man. They not.
Right.
That's the first thing they women say. I saw a TikTok the other day. No, I'm sorry. This was Family Feud. Steve Harvey. The question was something like, name a reason you'll break up with a man. She said, penis too small. Her parents were sitting in the audience. It was the first thing out of her face. She was like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
It's what it is. Gentlemen, I'm sorry. It's what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so now going back to it, so when a person hear that's the reason we're gonna break up. It ain't gonna work out. Now we talking about ego being bruised. Some of them guys ain't going to accept. That's the reason why we breaking up. I've been paying these bills. We've been going to Red Lobster, Ruby Tuesday, Disney World, Las Vegas, and 3 years in the relationship. You going to tell me that you fucking the cable man because you not satisfied? You want 10 toes down with me.
You see these guys out here. He barely work. He smell like weed. He look half raggedy.
He's right.
But
Nigerian dreadlock.
Sleeping with all these women. You know why? Because he not gonna
down.
Yeah.
That's why. He talking about you messing with this
that's
dude.
Exactly what his full time is.
He a low life and he this thing. You right. He's all of those things. But guess what?
He's a good lover.
He banging her. It's the reality of it. You can work on all of these things, but at the end of the day, she wants to be pleased sexually.
And you just said about
it's just
paying
the
all
honest
the bills.
truth.
A lot of today, the man is not paying all the bills. It's more partnership.
Horace disagrees with that. I feel like he's struggling.
No, I'm not saying. I'm talking about most men. I'm not saying there's.
I'm gonna share.
No, I understood what you were saying.
We split the bills.
Most men are not paying all the bills. Like
I know very few men that pay all the bills.
So it's
most
they're
that
not
pay the
needed the same.
majority,
Yeah.
like the mortgage, the condo, stuff like that.
And those are longer term relationships.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
in the, let's say 30 and under, especially, they're not really paying.
No,
they're really on some half and half stuff.
Yeah.
You are my
We
so
turn
now
into
you
it.
are my roommate.
Yeah, we turned pro. We still feel like
You are my
want half from
roommate,
Papa
and
John's. You ate 4 slices of
You
pizza.
are my roommate,
You
and you
supposed to
could
give
be
me something.
replaced by another roommate.
You ate pizza.
You're my roommate.
So
and
if
you
he don't pay
replaced
all
by-
the bills, you consider a man your roommate.
I said what I said.
Damn.
And see, and that's it.
And I ain't saying all of them. I'm saying, but if we half and half, it's easier. It's easy to replace. You're like a roommate. I can pay half, you pay half, and if you're not bringing that, then what are you here for? Somebody else can pay half the bills.
Oh, that's what you're saying. If you're not satisfying me sexually, and you only paying half the bills, what are we doing?
Like, what are we doing? Like,
oh yeah, you have roommates.
and then I cook, I clean. You know what I'm saying? I cut grass. Like, I do a lot. So I'm like, what are you here for?
You splitting the bills.
Yeah, and
y'all splitting the bills. She doing all that and not please sexually. That's a problem.
Shit.
Now most men, a lot of men, I'll say they pay the majority of the bills.
Yeah.
But you gotta. Every couple is different. You have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Splitting the bills works for this couple.
Yeah.
Him paying the majority of the bills works for this couple. Him paying all the bills works for this couple.
Yeah.
But I know women that say, I don't want no man paying all the bills. I don't care what's going on because I know what come with that, and I don't want to be in a relationship like that where I can't say and move how I want to because he pay all the bills and I don't work. They don't want that. In some rare occasions, the woman may actually pay more of the bills because she makes more money.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of women doing that.
Exactly. And that works for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know one or two couples like that.
I just got a question. So if you paying all the bills, the majority of the bills, like what's she doing with her money?
I mean, that's each couple.
I'll give you one example. I got a homie of mine. He does real estate, and this has been a really good time for him. Like the past couple years, of course, right? So for a long time, his wife didn't work. They got like four kids. But during that time, she did go back to school. She's a nurse now. So what he told her was, I'm going to continue to pay the bills. He said, but what I want you to do is put your money up so that'll be part of our retirement. He said, I got my money put up too, but take your money. I want you to take 30% of your money, whatever it was, and do whatever you want to do with it. But the other 70%, just save it.
That's good.
And so we have something more of a nest egg for our retirement. So these are conversations that you have to have and communicate about what you want, you want the money to look like. Because a lot of people, when they ask that question, what's she doing with her money? Well, hopefully she ain't just spending it frivolously because you have an irresponsible person in your circle. Nobody needs or wants that. So you have to have a conversation about what. And then you should really have, even if you're not sharing joint accounts, you should have access to these things because things happen to people.
Yeah.
You know, and it's nothing worse than this person died. Oh, I don't know this number. I don't know this. I don't know that. I don't know. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And not just with subject matter, because I got something going on now with my cousin who passed away, who got a divorce. And it's messed up. They got divorced during the COVID. But it's even more messed up now that he passed away. Now he just reached out to my aunt. She reached out to my aunt to get a death certificate because I guess she got to do her life insurance thing. Well, mother feels like, don't be calling me now about no death certificate. You didn't call me when he was alive. We ain't family now. And a lot of people feel like you turn. I'm gonna bring back full circle. You turn my back on my son and my cousin when he needs you most because of those vows, sickness and health, money. Was they rich or poor? When he was poor and in sickness, you didn't stand by your husband. So a lot of people feel like, why be married when a person not gonna stick by you when you poor and you sick?
Divorced. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, they were in the process of getting divorced. So even before they was in the process of getting divorced, she made her mind up that she was going to end a relationship because he did not have enough money and he was sick, and that's what she didn't sign up for that shit.
Yeah. So she was trying to get pretty much cash the life insurance and.
We can't catch life insurance without a death certificate because she's not the wife no more.
But legally,
they were divorced or were going through a divorce?
Divorce got finalized like 30 days. I would say 90 days before he died, 30 days before he had a surgery.
Yeah, so he wasn't a wife no more.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but she been behind the scenes trying to call shots for the hospital because we know he's been in grave illness. But for her to do what she needs to do now, she needs life insurance, but you're not the wife no more.
Not the wife.
So family feels like, don't call us now. You ain't been calling us. You ain't been involved. But even more to the point of our particular conversation about how these relationships deal with, you didn't stand by me, rich or poor, sickness and health. So why even be in a marriage? Why even be in a relationship when a person going to turn their back on you when you're at your lowest?
Well, I don't think that's true for every relationship. I think that if those
of course not every relationship,
if two people are truly in love, that's not going to be the case. But unfortunately, and this more so you'll find this with the women, a lot of times the women are there for their check. You know, a lot of these, especially these younger generations, you see them on the social media and all that. He gotta have a bag. He gotta have this and do that. And when he get messed up, like, and you know women like that, because I remember I've been seeing this woman, and for a while, and my money get a little messed up, and they be like, when you gonna get it together? And when you gonna buy you a car? This years ago, and I was like, dang, like, okay, so I see how she moving, But with the next person is like, baby, I got you right here, or got you, And then some of them, they might say, I got you and help you, but then they throw it in your face later. You know what I'm saying? I had a partner of mine, though, recently confided in me that he been married to his wife for a while. And he was like, man, when I first got my wife, he said, I was messed up. He said, I was paying child support, and I ain't have nothing. He said, my wife really like carried us. And he was like, yo, he said it was even time we went out, she gave me the money just so I could pay the bill. And that's an old school mentality.
Oh, right.
That's something my mother would do.
Right.
You know, it's something about certain type of men's pride that I need to pay. I need to show people that I'm paying. But he said, nah, I'm up. I'm straight now. He said, I'm paying everything. He said, I'll never leave my wife. I'm taking care of her.
Yeah.
That woman, that's a wife.
Right.
She held them down at his lowest when she could have really been.
I'm trying to say.
You know, she really. I mean, my ex-wife kind of did me like.
You gotta find people.
But you think that's the person you're supposed to marry? That's the person you're supposed to deal with. So you mean to tell me that you ain't gonna love me if I got no money? You ain't gonna love me if I get sick? And you damn sure ain't gonna love me if I don't satisfy you in the bedroom? What do we have? Let me.
Well,
you're supposed to marry a person after you see them through all seasons. So you're supposed to wait until, you guys go through, supposedly, see through all the different things before you get married, so you kind of know how they're going to react when things happen. But I mean, I feel like this. People wake up with different feelings every day.
Yeah.
Stuff happens.
And
like,
everybody's love language is different.
Yeah.
That love language is real. This is how I feel love. I need this. Maybe you don't, and maybe you think it's shallow, but I need this to feel loved. Yeah. People are different.
Right.
And ain't nothing wrong
people
with
do
that.
have a love language. But you can't tell your love language is only gifts and acts of service.
But you can't.
Right, you can't just say, "Oh yeah, my love language." You
Why-
shower me with gifts, and you do shit for me.
can't?
You do shit for me all day long.
But that might be their love language.
Especially for
But
men.
but then that's not the person for you.
Yeah.
If that's not good for you, then that's not the person for you.
Because that's actually how I show love. And I didn't even know that till I kind of dissected myself. I show love through acts of service. If I'm protecting and providing and I'm doing acts of service for you, that means I love you.
Yeah.
Physical touch is not really my thing unless we're having sex. And
Yeah.
I'm ashamed to kind of say that, but I know that about
it's the truth,
myself.
yeah.
Like, I'm not a big lovey-dovey, hug you all the time. Like, if I'm sitting there watching TV and you want to lay on me, fine, but I'm not going to
Say,
like,
come on.
What about hold your hand, walk down the mall?
constantly,
What about hold your hand, walk down the mall?
It's like, damn, you need another hug? God damn, I hugged you 5 minutes ago.
But like certain women can like touch me or like rub up on me or do anything to me, but certain women can't. Like
Yeah, and then I don't
You ain't feeling 'em
like
the same
all
way.
in my
Exactly,
all
yeah.
in my
You're not feeling 'em the
face,
same way.
like just all in my space, just you right here, back.
but it's something that you act like that.
They
and
call
want
that
that.
love. They call that loving on you. They call that loving on you.
But certain people bring certain things out of you. Like certain dudes will tell you that I'm just mean as hell. That I'm mean. That I'm argumentative. And then others will tell you, "What are you talking about? We've never had that energy." But it really depends on what you give me.
That's true. The person, how you respond.
Yeah, and how I respond to you. Because if you come at me with some stuff, I'm gonna come back at you with some stuff. But I feel like you're a man. You could just be solid. I'll submit.
Yeah.
And I'll submit. I'll sit down. I'll
that's
just go
true
ahead
for
and let
Yeah,
him
but
lead.
what if you
know
don't
what
like
I'm saying?
certain things? What if he desires a certain level of intimacy that you don't like? Maybe he's a kissy face ass nigga.
Then
You
I mean,
can be like
it
you
depends
be like
on if
nigga, I don't like to kiss all the
But
time
it
like
depends if
that.
I like him like that.
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, because I can be very affectionate, and there's other times I'll
if
be
he kind
like,
of giving you what you need on
yeah,
your
what
side.
I need. Yeah, I can go ahead and balance out and give him what he needs.
But I think Horace is saying like I don't need it all the time, all day long, 10 hugs a day. Is it inappropriate? Is it inappropriate not to hug you, kiss you before I leave the house? Am I required every time I leave the house to hug and kiss you?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, like I probably told most women I've been in a relationship in, it's hard for me to. I do it, but it's a conscious. Give them a gift, tell them you love them, because that's not how I was raised. I think as we're raised, we're gonna adapt to what we see as children. So not seeing that, and especially having a father that was like, "Stop kissing that boy, you gonna make him soft. Stop hugging him, like stop doing that." It becomes ingrained in you. So it's like I remember one day my lady or my ex now, she was talking to her mother, and they must have said I love you like 5 times before I got the phone. I was like, damn, many times you gonna tell her you love her? Get off the phone. And she was like, what's wrong with this nigga, man? What you been through some shit? And I was like, I apologize. I really
But
thought
maybe you
I
had.
said, that sounded harsh. I said, but I just, my mother barely hang up in my face. I mean, she be damn near hanging up in my face. Get off the phone,
yeah.
But
Right.
it's gotten better as we've gotten older. But that's just not something,
They used to.
it's just different.
And I gotta do it consciously too because
It's more aggressive.
because the other person may need
how
that, and
you
that's what I'm
raised,
learning
you gonna
too.
be like that
That
when you're
balance, that other person may need that hug and kiss and
That's
check
true.
out with you, and while you out, they might not mean no harm by saying, "Hey, are you okay?" I might get offended, like, "Damn, I just left the house 2 hours ago. What do you mean I'm okay?"
I don't think I ever heard my father tell me he loved me.
Really?
I remember I can remember him hugging me one time. Yeah. I remember he hugged me one time. I think he was drunk. Yeah, but he never just said, "I love you, son." But with my son, I do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But even with him, I have to consciously tell your son you love him.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's not automatic.
Because you show love,
and I love my son. Like that's
show it.
My son is my world. Like I love him to death.
Yeah.
But we kind of when we kids, when you're young, you gonna kind of do how you raise.
You repeat what you
My mother said love is an action. So I know you're a shower, so you're gonna do and show how you love more than maybe doing all that talking.
That's right.
Where some people might do all that talking and "I love you, son," "I love you, daughter," da 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 da, and they never show up.
They don't see him.
Never show up.
At the time.
Yeah, I love you, and they don't come pick you up. You know, when they say they pick you up and stuff like that. So everybody's just different. I tell my kids I love them every chance I get. The ones that's gone, like we got a group chat where it's just I mean, if I love you guys, have a great day. Mm-hmm. You know, when we get off the phone, I love you. Mwah. That's exactly how all my kids, boys and my daughter, get off the phone. It's just I think it's almost instinct now that they do the same thing back to me. It's I love you. Mwah.
I mean, that's a mother's love.
Yeah,
a mother's love.
But even my mother, she was kind of, she wasn't nowhere near bad as my father, but it was definitely. I remember one time, we just left church, and my friend, I'll never forget him. His name was Sean. He went up to his mother, and he got like a little hug, a little affection. I was like, shit, I'm gonna give him a hug for my mama too. So I ran into my mother and I tried to hug her, and she was talking to somebody. She kept pushing me away, and I was like, don't give me a hug. Mm-hmm. And she turned me, she said, boy, what the hell is wrong with you? I was like, damn. I was like, all right, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So your life just different, man. And my mother loves me, don't get me wrong.
So you stop wanting those hugs? Because you feel like maybe rejecting that moment, you kind of stop seeking that out from people?
Hell yeah. Nobody likes that feeling of rejection, man. Especially when you're a kid, you start treating the world how the world treats you.
Yeah.
So when you get that feeling, you don't like that feeling. I'm not gonna let this feeling creep into my life again. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I
I definitely had to get used to dealing with my new girlfriend of that. That's something she need or want from me is that hug and kiss before she leave, because of course, over time, over life, I didn't have it as a young person, but over time, you kind of get dull to those type of things. Dull, you get, I guess, what you want to call experience, and those things don't be as fresh or exciting anymore. But now I know I got to, feed in what that person need, because it's not necessarily all about what I want sometimes. Sometimes that person kind of give you what they need from you. It's like, please, they're not saying necessarily please, but that is something they need so they can feel better about, where we stand in a relationship. Like this person at least checked in with me and say goodbye to me, I love you. And they know you're coming back, but they feel that's a cold thing not to say goodbye, or even have that type of embrace, that warm embrace. And I think some people really, really, as I continue to learn, they need that warm embrace. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I think it's important, since my husband passed away, to say goodbye before leaving and saying I love you. Before he leaves the house, for us to have that it takes a second to say I love you goodbye. So it's important to me, because I think when he passed away, he said, I love you, and gave me a hug, gave me a kiss, and walked out the door. I think if we would have not had that moment, it would have been even harder for me. That we didn't say, because I was busy. I was actually doing something at the time, but that we took that one moment, and I had a last goodbye, a love, and a kiss. And if you just don't know when's the last time you're going to see your person. He passed away maybe like 5-6 minutes later.
Damn.
So it's important to me. Like I didn't even realize how important it was until then. Like I thank God I had that moment. So now the person I'm married to now, it's like nah. Even when I'm mad, it's still I love you. I love you too. It's still I still love you. Like still saying it because
you still love the person. I don't know how much you going through with them. I still love this person.
Yeah, I still love this person.
I don't want to see nothing bad happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything as long as we allow, it can be fixed on some level.
On some level.
And, some level.
Some level.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, boy, it's so hard sometimes to really understand everything that your mate may necessarily need. But as you continue to learn that person, you continue to learn their wants and needs, so you can kind of like skip some of some bad moments. So I'm gonna give that person something so small but so much, so that we don't have something bigger erupt. Because then you won't even give me this.
Yeah.
You won't even give me a goodbye.
So, and it's being honest with, it's one, knowing yourself and knowing how to be honest with your partner, getting to a point where you are able to be honest and have an honest, open conversation about your needs, and then how, if that person isn't like that, how y'all can find a compromise and a balance so that you both are in a good place. So they're not uncomfortable giving you your needs, and you're not uncomfortable with the fact that you're not getting what you need, because it's not going to work if you're not able to go ahead and balance that out.
Right. So if that person can't give you needs, where we at then? Am I then allowed to have that open conversation and say, like, you do 8 out of 10 things, but I want to meet somebody else and give me those 2 out of 10 things, or I want to have my fun with the 2 out of 10 things? So where does that lead the relationship if those things can't be, if it's still that unsatisfactory or incomplete part of that person's spirit?
How much is those two things worth to you? I mean, compared to what's out, we just talked about how shitty the dating pool is.
Right.
So when you talk about 10 things and only 2 is kind of, missing, do you really want to lose the person who's giving you 8 out of those 10 things behind, Hennessy and Plan B's?
And we go back to what we say about sex. That's what we're going back to when we talk about sex being a king. Because what if one of those 2 out of 8 things is sex, and you're not getting my nerves?
I know women that said that. They said, I'm not doing it. They said, life too short to be having bad sex. They said they not doing it. Now, they younger. They millennials. But they said, I ain't doing it.
It depends
millennials
on
are built different. Yeah. See, we not millennials.
Yeah, it depends on
millennials, they built it. They said, the women, they said, I'm not doing it. They make 6 figures. They try, I'm doing this. If he can't at least do this, I'm not doing it. They said, I'd rather be by myself.
But as a men, we if you feel like sex game not good, I guess everybody don't know that because they feel like what they are with the next person may not be with that person.
You know if your sex game ain't good.
Well, maybe you don't know because you feel like another person might be compatible with. Like you might try to figure out why me and her not, why we not connecting that level.
It might not be good with that person, right. And you know whether or not it's not good with that person. You gonna know. Yeah, you gonna know. No question about it.
That's heartbreaking though.
It is heartbreaking.
If everything else is working out, but this one thing that
because women now, these younger women, they don't hold back. Man, this nigga shit little. I don't. They ain't holding back. They gonna not. She ain't gonna call you the next day. Why you ain't call me, nigga? You know I ain't call you.
You know what happened?
Yeah, she gonna put it out there.
Hey, that lasted 23 seconds.
23 seconds.
You guys like constructive criticism, like, like.
I think it's important.
As a woman.
I have never had any. I mean, I would take it, but I've never had.
So, like, do you provide? Are you like? Do you like tell a guy like if you like him like yo now like?
Oh yes, I will.
Okay, cool.
I will. I will find a way to go ahead and just if I like you.
Yeah.
If I don't like you, then we ain't nothing to talk about. But if you check out majority of my boxes, but we need to work on this one thing, we could work. We could. Yeah. Especially if it's sex, we could, work on that. But if you checking off all, because there's a lot, like like we said, it's shitty out there. So for me, sex is important. Let me not lie, sex is important. Because I'm a very sexual person. So sex is important, but I feel like if I'm with the right person, that's emotionally, because my emotions are extremely important. I'm a very sensitive person, and I'm really sensitive, but my husband said when you meet me, I don't come off that way. You really think I really just don't care because I don't really show it. But you have to kind of come underneath and realizing that you kind of might have hurt my feelings, but whatever. But anyway, so I'm real sensitive. So if you could kind of deal with that part of me and you're checking off all these other boxes as my partner and what I look for in my future, then we can work on that if you're willing to work on that though. Because I know some dudes are not really going to want to hear it. They feel like they, whatever. But I haven't really had any issues.
So like has like women ever like came to you guys and told you or you got the gist of it like, yo, listen, that was whack. Like,
well, no woman has said that, but when I was young, right, I'm always been I'm a perfectionist. So when I was young, I used to watch a lot of Cat House, HBO Cat House. Now you might not be familiar with this.
I remember. I don't know from.
But I used to learn a lot from that, and I'm a read.
Yeah.
The clit. Okay, bow. And do this. Okay, boom. All right, bow. So over time, I'm gonna perfect myself anyway because I'm a perfectionist and I want to be good at anything that I'm doing. whether it's cutting hair, having sex, stuff like that. You know, but now I'm sure there's been plenty of times where, especially when I was young, with girls like, shit, I don't know about this nigga right here.
I feel like
when you young, when you first start having sex, as soon as you put it in, it's like boom.
Yeah.
Woo! Dang, I don't know.
Anxiety.
You good?
Yeah, and then he's like, I kind of messed that up. I ain't had no control.
Yeah.
You're like 17, 19, you ain't got no control. But as you get older, you going, if you smart, you want to learn things. You want to get this. You want to get more control. You want to, whatever you got to do, you gonna perfect your shit. You know.
I think I got better as over time goes. You learn more about yourself, your body, their body, what a person really like, and then also be in your own comfortable space. Because when you were younger and you in somebody's mother basement and you like, shit, we got to get this done by 2:30, and it's already a time limit.
and it's everything that leads up to sex. It's the cologne, it's the perfume, it's the conversation, it's the everything, it's just the whole thing. Mm-hmm. You perfect all of those things that lead up to that, because it's all foreplay, and those things are important. So
or it's learning that those things are important, because some guys really just don't understand how important all those other things are.
All those things are important. It's very important to.
A guy would turn me off the way he eat.
Oh yeah, smack.
Like really, there's just certain things that'll be like, I don't even want to deal with you no more. Like, you know what? And it's all will lead all the way up to that. So it's understanding that all these things and your movements will really make a woman want to sleep with you or not want to sleep with you.
But what if you have a bad sexual experience? Does that person get a second try? Does do we work with this again, or is
most times depending on what it is, most times I'm gonna give it a second try, like, because a woman might happen to be having an off day. You kind of smell a little, but I know a woman's body, say anything, throw it up. But then I'm out messing with this one chick, like every single time. I was like, but it was so good. I was like, but
what's going on,
man? But I wonder how to tell her. I was like, yo, I think you might have BV or something. Like, you might want to go to the doctor. She's like, well, women's supposed to smell a little bit. I said, no, I got like 7 sisters and a mama. That's not true,
Yeah.
And she didn't take it well, but I had to say something. Outside of that, everything was cool. So I felt like, I should be at this point say something to your body. And she didn't take it too well. So, but it's just like a man, man. If your man don't be taking a shower and thinking, it's not thinking, you gotta tell him,
he's not gonna be attracted to you.
I wash your ass every day. You gotta get the rag and hit everything real good. And, it's just like anything else, man. The odors are a turn off.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a turn off.
A lot of men, I feel like, especially like the kids that play basketball, like they walk around with basketball shorts under their pants, like they play ball all day, then they come in the house and just chill. Like, and I think they grow up and
their mamas ain't tell them like an old school way
of
saying, man, you smell like outside. Go and take a shower.
Go get in the tub and don't sit on my couch.
Exactly.
Like, I was raised that you don't lay in your bed. You don't sit on the bed.
Yeah.
If you ain't take a shower, like you don't even sit.
In the bed.
First of all, company don't stay in the bed, but you better not lay. You better not go to bed. You don't do nothing in that bed unless you take a shower. Yeah. So that's like an automatic. But then I was raised before you leave the house. There's these things, but I feel like a lot of kids aren't told those things anymore. Generation, that's a whole nother conversation of where the generation kind of got difficult or different in what was being raised. I don't know what kind of happened, but where things that was kind of handed down, there was a group that just didn't hand it.
It's cool to stink. Kids raising kids.
But before, seemed like it was like kids raising kids, but grandparents came in and I guess helped. Well, but I think at the point where grandparents say, like my best friend yesterday was like, I'm the type of grandparent who's like, here's, here and go take a kid. She's not that grandmother who's about to sit there on the weekend because she got shit to do. She do. She got shit to do. She got her own life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had a baby.
Nails done and go get my
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got a schedule with me if you might want me to keep your daughter for the weekend. And you have to see if me and my boo ain't got something going on. So it's kind of different now to where now you have to raise your kids, but they don't before it was the grandparent kind of stepping in and keeping them and helping. So I think even that part right there.
Is that because grandma's single? Because back in our day, grandma had a granddaddy. She wasn't worried about having shit to do because she was home making sweet potato pies from granddaddy. She ain't had shit to do. She ain't had time to do shit but fucking fix dinner on Sunday. For real though. Think about it though. My grandmother every Sunday was fixing these big ass dinners for everybody, so she didn't have time to be running the goddamn streets worried about. What you mean?
I thought that was just like a South thing, like Sunday dinner.
Ooh, my grandmother from the South.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though. But she was dedicated. She was dedicated to the care of my grandfather. And my grandmother she ended up having she didn't get divorced. My other grandmother did not get divorced from my grandfather, but she still had 6 kids. So she didn't. I guess she felt like she would dedicate her life to her children. But I guess this generation of grandmothers, they don't feel like their life is supposed to be dedicated to their children at all costs. But think about that shit though. You didn't see your grandmother go on no goddamn date.
I mean,
she going to New Orleans. My grandmother never been to New Orleans.
But look at what 50 and 60-year-old women are looking like. Like there are some that I'm like body goals. Yeah. Like I'm looking at them and I'm like, hold up a second, I need to get in the gym somewhere. Yeah. And they're getting BBLs.
But why they single though? Where is grandpappy, granddaddy? Why is granddaddy and grandmommy not together?
They've been not together though.
That's why nobody's gonna watch some goddamn kids because ain't no for real. Because I got dropped off from my grandparents' house because there was a household that was stable and wasn't dangerous over there. Now there's no household to go where home ownership and family is at. That's true. Our grandparents own some shit. I don't know what happened to our parents' generation, our generation, where we don't have a household where kids can come and stay all weekend. We don't want that. I'm not used to go places for stay all weekend long, and it was not no goddamn big deal. Yeah. Now you can't do that.
Priorities are different.
I'm about to say that, and I was listening to another podcast that was talking about how we had our cities almost like Black Wall Street, but she was naming other cities that was also taken away from us and how they took it away from us. She named 4 other cities in the U.S. that were taken away from us and how we weren't able to go ahead and do the generational wealth because of how those were taken away from us. So our priorities, because then when we moved, we were renting. And then we just kind of kept on renting from that point because we had no choice. Our cities were kind of taken away from us and we kind of splitting in the projects. That's like a whole nother, but I'm just saying that's kind of how we no longer bought the houses anymore the same way that you're buying it prior to.
It's all the residual effects of slavery and Jim Crow and desegregation and the drug epidemic and music. I mean, it's all just the residual effects of those things. It's just it's a whole nother. It's a whole nother.
We done lost that household. We done lost that a place where a kid can really. If he ever was really safe over there, but
everybody kids is at.
Yeah, everybody kids, but nobody saying like, I'm not letting my kids go over there. People say that they don't want their kids going with their grandparents or over their sister's house because they feel like it's dangerous or something can happen or I can't trust those adults with my children. You know, or
like education,
like all those things.
Good granny. Got all her grandkids or kids that are living in the house, and they won't even pay the taxes. Like,
facts, yeah.
And she about to, and all y'all live here. Like, y'all should have been able to help grandma pay the taxes and go out and get y'all own home.
But I think maybe like a lot of them
got messed up along the way.
That's how you maintain this thing. Like, a lot of times, like people
that's the lack of education. Yeah, and we have so many distractions now too. Between the social media, the music, just, want to have fun and do this and move like that. Like, it's so many distractions now. It's like...
I think our people could be real selfish sometimes, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because culturally, like other cultures, they kind of get together and they go ahead and I forgot exactly what it was, but like, they pay off the parents' house first and then the kids will move out. You know what I'm saying? And then they help with the kids and like they kind of each build each other up that way into owning houses where... You stay in your parents' house, and even if you stayed in your parents' house, the moment they start telling you that you have to pay $500 a month, F this, I'm getting my own shit. You know what I'm saying? And because you have to, and I don't want to do that, and because you don't want to deal with the rules, and or you kind of want to do what you want to do, and it's kind of like, but if you think about staying here and go ahead and building this up, and then they lose it because then they get old. You don't want to take care of them. They end up in nursing homes. You don't want the house. Exactly. All this other stuff we play into a lot differently than other cultures.
And that's how we cultivate that love where the kids can come over the weekend because that I done help get this house paid off. I done help this house get together. I done paid for this roof. I done did everything so that mommy and daddy can be comfortable so we can do this. But if we lose that team out of that family situation where now everybody out for self, then we're going to go back to my grandmother feeling like, I don't got time to watch some kids because, I'm about to go to the goddamn Ozzy Brother show.
Because it's a survival mode mentality. we've been through so much as a people. It's like, man, I can't help that man help me. I'm just gonna do me.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a very just trying to survive mentality, and now we're passing that mentality subconsciously down to the next generation, and don't want to help the next or bring the other one up.
Oh, we push ours out. We say they're 18 and they're adults.
Oh yeah,
and that's like a whole nother thing that we do. They're 18 now, they grown. It's like, hold up a second. My 19-year-old the other day, he called me and I'm like, hold up, what's on your insurance? Like, is your car insured properly? They don't know.
Yeah.
And it's still like we're not teaching them, and we're kicking them out as if they're adults, and they're really not. They're just older. They're still, they don't know about contracts the same way. They don't know about interest rates. I mean, there's a lot. I've taught my kids a lot about credit and stuff like that. So I love, like, when my kids came home, they were literally talking about my daughter was 22 and my son was 19 at the time, was having a conversation about their 401k and their Roth and stuff. And that's their conversation. Right. And I was like, I was proud. I'm sitting there like, my daughter's like, how much you putting into yours? And what are you about to buy? So my son, who's just turned 20 last month, and he wants his first thing, because of what I told him, is to buy a quad so that he could rent out.
That's right.
And that's what he's going to use his VA loan for. And you get what I'm saying?
Did your parents teach you that?
No.
Or you had to see, and that's the thing, like, your parents didn't even teach you that. You had to learn it.
I had to learn
it. You learn, and now you pass it on to the next generation, and they're going to be better than you were.
My grandmother was good with savings bonds.
Yeah,
she taught me about those, but savings bonds really aren't in play. But my grandmother did have good financial health.
Okay.
I even though she necessarily didn't teach me, I saw it.
Know.
Yeah, I saw what she had good financial health, so I wanted to understand why was she comfortable.
Yeah,
and even though it was a different time, I think that still adds to the love factor about what you really bring to the table. If you say you want to mess with me and you want to get me out of my mama and daddy house, what we really doing here if I done got you a house where now Miss Fanny can have her own kitchen and have her own backyard and have a place. That's why the women left their parents' house so they can have their own. Now, what are we asking a girl to leave? Come to my apartment, move out your mother's house, come stay in my apartment? Like, we're not even bringing something to the table to say that we starting off right. Like, these guys had a farm or something for their mama, your grandmother to come stay at.
Yeah.
We don't have, we bring somewhere where I need you to come stay here to go half on this apartment, because I'm not really having you come here to start my family. I'm having you come here to be my roommate.
Yeah.
So you can help me afford this apartment, not because I wanted to make sure we straight and we had this family together. And I think that's what's really going on, and that's a bad, unequal love foundation, because you're really supposed to be trying to build something, a solid foundation, not I need you for financial convenience, and I can't break up with you, because if I break up with you, then I'm gonna lose my car or I'm gonna lose my apartment. I think it's so much. In reality, it's supposed to be, what are we really doing to have something forever? Because we're supposed to be together forever.
Yeah.
Now we're just dating for convenience.
I think there's a lot of people who are, I hear, dating for convenience these days. Like they are. I've heard men, and I'm not gonna lie, it is a turnoff for me that if I was out there to hear a man say that he's living with somebody because he needs the help. To hear him, I'm just like, and I'm not gonna say that men don't have financial issues, but just to hear that he has to live with this woman, or he's choosing to find a mate so that he can survive, there's something in me that's just like, for my thing, I'm like, nah, that's not the person that I want to kind of be with, that he would just be, because then I feel like he'll be with me and stay with me because I'm able to go ahead and bring half and then some to the table.
But is it really a woman like that? Because, like, then kind of back, I know we're not talking to Kevin saying stuff, but as a man, am I not supposed to have this so that you can come to me? I think we done got things backwards in our community, but now we go to the women, and usually the women are the one who got the car, who got the good job, who got the place to stay. I'm really supposed to have you set up.
Yeah, I mean, in general, it's always been, that's what makes a man more attractive. He has his stuff together, he makes this amount of money, and then the man is going to want that. The woman's going to want that man. But in reverse, men don't really care about that so much, about how much money a woman makes. And that's one thing where some men make a good point, that if a woman makes this amount of money, I don't really care about, I got my own money. This is what I need in my woman. You know, I need her to be cooperative, submissive, keep herself up, faithful, you know, all of those things. That's what we're men, and we're not going to stop being men. That's what we want.
But the average black man supposedly only makes $40,000 a year. Nobody can live off that.
And exactly, and
so,
you know, and I'm glad you. And I'm glad you
honestly, like you can't live off that.
And I'm glad you said it, because that's another thing. Black man, especially if the average man don't make number 40,000, the average black man is Probably less than that.
Yeah.
So you probably need to go out and get 2 jobs, go back to school, something along those lines. You have to be honest about where you are in life.
Technically, right now, you have to be comfortable, be almost near 6.
Oh, for sure.
You have. I mean, you have.
I mean, obviously, depending on where you live. If you live in Mississippi and you make 60,000, you probably
you good.
Like,
but I heard like.
But in most major cities,
40 times the rent amount. Like it's going like Manhattan. You have to make like 40 times the rent amount. Some crazy like that. And I was like, what are they doing?
Oh, you know, it's going to be very expensive to live in D. You think you're going to come here and have a little condo apartment somewhere in downtown Atlanta? That's going to be like $2,500. Your gas is at $6
I think it's
a
gonna
gallon.
be more than that because my niece is on the outskirts and she just told me her rent went from like 11 to 17.
Yeah, right. Most people rent increasing by like 50%.
Right, so it's going to be more people dating for convenience because we cannot afford this apartment downtown.
Survive, you know?
People are
townhouse, house somewhere.
Let me back up real quick a little bit because I thought about something about going back to the earlier conversation about women not really needing the man, and I thought about an older couple. One of my clients, he's an older guy. First time cutting his hair, he said, "Yeah, I just moved in across the street to the apartments or something." And I said, "Okay." He said, "Yeah, I just got a divorce." He said, "My wife just wanted a divorce. I don't know why." He said she just wanted a divorce, and I was like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, I didn't fight her on it. You know, we've been together a long time. We're still friends. She still cooked for me, and we raised our kids, and blah blah blah." And that's okay. But then we kept talking, and he goes, "I realized something now that I live alone." I said, "What's that?" He said, "I'm pretty messy." I said,
"Oh wow."
I said, "Women are, you know, it just gets to the point where I think some women, they just like, I would rather be. I'm tired of cleaning up behind you. You know, they're not gonna do what my mother did.
They're not.
You know,
they're not that
gonna
lady.
do it. They just not. You know, it's what it is. Yeah. You know, I've had a young lady tell me, she said, "I don't even think I want to live with a man. You know, I just don't want to do that. I don't think I want to live with a woman because I'm very clean, so stuff really irritates me." And I was like, maybe that is good. Maybe we both do need our own space, or maybe if the house is big enough.
I told my husband I wanted us to build a house that has two master bedrooms.
Yeah,
I really am. I'm like, I love you, but at the same point, space wise,
it gets.
I know somebody got that right there.
Because some women, they just have. I know guys. One of the homies at the shop, he said, "Shit, man, I have to share a bathroom with my kids because my wife got so much stuff." And he love his wife, he adore his wife. It's like, man, he never said nothing about not living with his wife, but just as an example, it's like, yo, man.
People need their own space.
People need their space, and it's hard to share space with someone, especially when you have not done that.
Yeah. I was been alone for a while.
If you've been alone for a while, and you've
got set in your ways.
Yeah, set in your way. It's going to be very hard for you to share your space with somebody. And I think younger generations, they didn't spend so much time by themselves before they got with somebody.
Yeah.
They were basically, okay, we're young, I got with this person, we stay together forever, or I broke up with this person, I got with somebody else and shared this space. So, that's kind of, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And people got sleeping habits. Like, for me, I'm a child of Arsenio.
That snoring and all that, man, come on.
I'm a child of Arsenio, so I stay up at night. I mean, I want to go to bed to 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, yeah. But my girlfriend, she go to bed after the evening news. She may watch Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, but she's going to bed and, like, upstairs, lights off, completely dark.
Arsenio?
I'm saying when I was a kid, I stayed up late at night as a kid. So no, but I've never been a person that went to bed before midnight.
Yeah, you're a night owl.
I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
So but when she wants to go to bed, it's lights out, completely silence, nothing.
Oh.
I might have to play with my phone at 2 o'clock in the morning to unwind to go to bed.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm doing nothing. So but I could be on the couch and she's saying, "Please come to bed. Let's go to bed." And she she reads into that I don't want to go to bed and lay down with her, but it's not the case. Is that I'm just not sleepy at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Like my dude, he comes in from work though anywhere between like 4 and 6 a.m. My thing is I like making the bed when I wake up, and I'm up by 6:30 to 7. But he's in the bed at that point. So then as I'm in and out the room all day, my bed is not made. And I just said it's something that simple.
Why like, my bed?
And I got this like bright room, and I'm just looking at this bed and my pillows are over there. And then he gets up around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and my pillows are still over there. And I'm just like, I want my bed made. And it's something that simple to where it's like, I don't care that he sleeps all day. I care that he sleeps all day right here.
Right.
It's a real thing. But yeah.
So people got to learn that sleep compatibility. Some people don't want no light. They don't want to hear no music. Some people want to unwind, watch a movie every night. Some people feel like if you jump out the shower at 11 o'clock at night, there's time to get busy.
Yeah.
Some people mean that just because I took a shower at 11 o'clock don't mean we had sex. So that's all into our whole bedroom night routine.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that, we're going to wrap it up. Another episode of Uncomfortable Truth. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back. I feel good.